Hey guys, welcome back to CMTEQ channel in the series of tutorial on Telegram integration with the Raspberry Pi and Arduino. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how we're going to integrate the lookup table that we did on the C programming snippet recently on my channel, where we basically came up with the idea of as this Raspberry Pi and Telegram server is running. Now, for me to control the color of the RGBs, I will have to write a message here. Let's say if I want to change this to red, I'm going to enter 255. First, I need to enter the code message, that is LED 2550000, right? So these are my RGB coordinate. And when I hit enter, then this changed to red, as you can see. Okay, now we decided, well, these will actually be better if we can change these to write the color name rather. So if I enter or user, for instance, and then I say red, something like that, then I should be able to get the red LED. But now I'm not getting the red LED, I'm just getting subscribed to CMTEQ channel. Okay, so now in this tutorial, this is basically what we're going to solve. So like I mentioned earlier, I did this tutorial here where we basically took the RGB coordinate, we create a lookup table, and then we created another color name table and joined them together so that they can work, right? So I've got this tutorial on my channel. So if I run this, right, as you can see here, now I'm going to enter the color name and I say red, enter, then it gives me the color red, got the RGB coordinate. So this is exactly what we need. So we're just going to enter the color name and we're going to return the RGB coordinate, and then this RGB coordinate that we're going to get, we're going to pass it here, but that is now going to be handled by the Arduino side of things. Okay, so we only need to pass the Raspberry Pi or the Telegram application the color red that we want to pass. So to achieve our objectives, obviously we'll have to make some changes onto our Python script here and also onto the Arduino side of things. Now, most of the changes will have to come on the Arduino side because this is where we're going to implement the lookup table changes. And here, obviously, this is a server where the Raspberry Pi, the Telegram chatbot is running. Now, we've got functions here that are basically handling the interaction here. For instance, here, if I try to enter a user, right, and then I send a message test, for instance, right, then because the code name user is implemented, it says subscribe to CMTEQ channel. Then test, you say, well, what must I do with test? This is just a message. But now remember, we need to send this message, right, test, to the Arduino side of things so that we can decode it there, just as we are sending send MSG here. So if I send the code message send MSG, because it is being handled or decoded here on the Arduino side, then I will be able to display a message onto the LCD, right? So to give it a try, so let's go ahead and copy send MSG, we give the code, and then I'm gonna say test, right? Now we should have test display onto our LCD, as you can see. Now to achieve the changes that we want to integrate in terms of sending the color name here, we just need to modify one of the function here. So I'm going to choose to modify the user handle function. Now right now the user handle is not being decoded onto the Arduino side. It's basically just interacting with the chatbot here. So I'm going to copy this function, basically all this line of code, and paste it right here. Now you can make a new function if you want to. If you've been following this series of tutorial, you already understand everything that we've done here. If you want to modify the RGB handle function, that is up to you. You can come here and modify the changes that we're going to implement now. Because I don't want to change these things, so I'm going to just leave it like that, add another else if statement here. That is why I just want to modify the user handle function so that it can also be sent messages, right, from the Telegram application onto the Arduino side of things. So I'm going to modify the message here because I'm already sending the send MSG code. I will change to a new code that will be now called user, right? Something like that. And this must be changed to 6 here, just to make the message different. So it's gonna be MSG from user, or let's rather say user MSG. Right, now we can stop this and run it again, right? And it is running. So now it is running. We can go ahead and type in user, and then we can send the message test. Let's say we're just sending test again. Now we're going to get subscribe to CMTEQ channel and then user MSG, just as we say there. And by the way, please don't forget to subscribe to CMTEQ channel if you find this tutorial useful. Now we're not going to be sending test, okay? We're going to be sending the color of the LED. So it's going to be user and then blue, something like that. So when we send user and blue, automatically this blue is now going to be sent. Right now it is being sent to the Arduino side of things on the serial communication, but we haven't decoded it yet. Because we haven't decoded it, nothing is happening. So we need to decode it now. Now to decode it so that we can display the correct color, this is now easy for us since we've already developed the code that we need to work around with. So I'm just going to add another else if statement here. So that will be else if, right? Now if what? Else if the message, right? The MSG pi starting with user. So this is what we're going to put in here. Then we're gonna change here user. Then we need to remove 5 characters. That is the code that is being sent to us. Okay, and then we're going to start working with the rest of the characters. Now we can now go ahead and start pasting the code that we developed earlier on. So let's open our VS Code. So first of all, I'm going to take all of these like that, right? So let's go ahead and copy, and hopefully it's going to paste into here without problems. So let's go. There we go. Okay, so we've got our RGB character defined here. We've got a lookup table, everything as we've already developed them. So now into our else if statement here. Now remember, at this point here, just like in our lookup table, this is where we already now getting the message, right? So in the lookup table here, in the lookup table code, from at this point here, we getting the color name from the scanf, right? We scanning f and then we are assigning it to color name, then we starting here. So I'm going to copy here. Okay, this is where we're going to find the color in the lookup table. Okay, and that is now going to be placed right there. Okay, like that. Now let's format it. Always nice. Now I'm gonna take this index variable and place it where we are defining all other variable, right? So that's going to make things much neater. And we come back, format again. So now this is where we're going to go through our for loop. We already explained this code countless time. So now let me try to run this quickly, see if we're not going to get any errors here. Okay, there is a first problem. Obviously color name does not exist. Okay, so this is now going to be what? MSG pi. So this must be MSG pi. So let's see, MSG pi. Okay, let's compile it again. Okay, so we cannot convert string to character. Okay, so we need to work around this thing. Okay, because now this was working on the VS Code and Visual Studio as well as we demonstrated on this other tutorial. So now the Arduino compiler here is not too happy with what we've tried to do here. So now we're going to go around this by simply wrapping this to make a string comparison. Okay, so we're just gonna make a string comparison. That's gonna be much easier for us, because I know that the MSG Pi, we're going to be getting the string blue, for instance. That is the string that is coming through, okay, into the MSG Pi here. So we're just gonna take that string and then we're going to make a comparison. So equal and string, okay, just like that. So if the color lookup is equal to this string, now let's wrap this also into a string, so we cannot do the string copy function anymore, because now we're comparing string directly if they are indeed the same. Okay, now the principle here will remain the same if these strings are equal. So that basically means the if statement will validate, then we're going to use the index. So that code is still going to work as is. So let's go ahead and compile again. Oops, there is still a problem. Yeah, it just looks like we've got too many brackets here. Let's remove that other one bracket and then we can try again. There we go. So it works, right? So we're making good progress here. So let's go ahead and add one more line of code here. So MSG Pi. So this is where we actually going to convert it to uppercase. Remember, on the tutorial that we saw on the C programming, we needed to convert to uppercase so that we can be able to enter in any way possible. Otherwise, we'll have problem with the string comparison. So we convert our string to uppercase because also our lookup table are all in uppercase. Again, please watch that tutorial so that you can familiarize with what we've been doing. So now I'm going to add in some LCD display here. So first of all, I will just copy that one and then pass it. Where should I pass? Right here. Okay, just after we pass the variable index into the lookup table value, then I'm going to basically do an LCD clear, lcd.clear, so that you can clear whatever was on the LCD display. Then I'm gonna pass the message. So the message here is MSG Pi, obviously, so that will be the color that will be displayed onto the screen. Okay, and we break, we get out of there. So now the next thing is, obviously, we need to copy another code. Let's come back here. So this is where we're gonna copy this code here. If the index value is not equal to -1, then we want to do all of those things. So I'm going to copy here. Let's just leave the comment out of this. We don't need a comment. Then I'm going to go ahead and paste this outside the for loop, okay, because we must be outside the for loop. So we're gonna paste it right there and paste. There we go. There it has been copied and pasted. Okay, so I'm going to change this. Obviously, we're not going to use a printf statement here. And now we need to basically assign the RGB values just as we've done here. So I'm going to take these lines of code again, and I will copy and paste them right here. Great. Now we need to go ahead and make some cleanup work here. So one of which will be just to move the LED, first LED that show outside of that. Okay, right. So this is fine like this. Now the LEDs array that set RGB, we're just going to change this so that it corresponds to our character. So that will be R, G, and P, like that. Now let's me compile. Okay, and see if we're going to survive the errors. Okay, it's been compiled and we are running out of our Arduino flash memory here. Right now, we're not going to be worried about that. We can optimize this program if we want to, if we want to reduce the flash memory usage. But for now, all that we care is to make sure that it is running, and we worry about the optimization some other times. So let's load this into our Arduino, and we're going to give this a test. Okay, it's being uploaded. Now I'm going to enter user, and let's start with blue, obviously, and then we hit. There we go. So we've got a blue color, and as you can see, we also have blue being displayed on the LCD, right? So you can try any other color. Just remember your code name user, and let's go with cyan. Okay, so these must be the colors onto our lookup table. So if the color is not on your lookup table, then obviously it won't work. Then you can add in more colors. As per this tutorial, you can add more colors as you want, and we can try yellow as well. User and yellow. There we go. Then it is indeed working. So guys, this is how this tutorial is working. Now let's try onto a cell phone here. So I've got the Telegram application here running on the cell phone like we described it on the previous tutorial. So now, instead of typing all the RGB variables or values, we just now going to enter our code here, user. I don't think it's case sensitive, and then I'm going to say red color, and then I enter, and obviously you can see the color change to red. Okay, and we can try another color here, and make sure the color is on the lookup table there, magenta. I believe that color is available, and we go, there we go. Then we've got the magenta color that been changed. And one last time, so green color, green, and then enter, and then we're getting green. So that is it guys for this tutorial. And also you can see green is displayed on the LCD. So if you found this tutorial useful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to CMTEQ channel, and stay tuned for more tutorial on the Raspberry Pi and Arduino integration. Until next time, cheers.